It'll be a hell of a pain. Okay, come on. Sorry guys, the pain is too much for me, but I'm sure it will. GFCI in bathrooms, people. So don't do this at home. Now we'll have high voltage, just retry. So don't do this at home. Now as soon as I turn on this, what is this? Scared me. Ow! Voltage a little bit. Okay, let's do 100 volts. Ready? Should be less painful. Ow. Okay. Ouch. What is it? What? Ow. Ow, what the current rising? Ow! Like at higher voltage and current, the skin doesn't limit the current anymore. It is failing one way or another and its resistance is dropping, increasing the current. I have a solution that will make you work out for dear life. It's called Workout or Die. It's a simple device. It's a belt that you tie around your belly with a tiny device that senses your motion. As long as you move, you're okay. But if you stop for any reason, it'll zap you like a... You will move no matter what, or else you will feel the pain. The device may often false trigger. The belt is very hard to open. It's made of very durable material, resistance to sharp objects, and it shocks. So you will run until the batteries die or you die. Just kidding, we have never had failed batteries. Please don't hurt anyone, including yourself. The fuse box should be somewhere in there. The hood has a stand that has to be securely placed into the hood hole. Get together, I'm gonna shoot the box. I put the bullet in. And there's a switch here that acts like a trigger. So here we go. Well, it's always wise to aim away from yourself. So let's try again. Put the bullet in. $100 ohm resistor and connect it to the output to see how the waveform changes. A quick calculation shows having 170 volt across 100 ohm generates 300 watts of power. It's like having a 300 watt lamp within your fingers. It burns your skin very quickly. Now I use pliers to hold the resistor. See, the output voltage drops, but with very small ripples because there is a lot of filtering. Wow, I was holding that. I let it cool down for a while. The ceramic core takes a long time to cool down, and now I like to put it on my tongue, but before that I have to reduce the voltage to something like 1 volt because you know the resistance of the tongue is much smaller than the skin. And still, if I short the power supply, I get the same 150 amps. Okay, you can see it still sparks. Let's try it out. I thought I set it to 1 volt. Huge. Don't completely trust the gauges on your instruments and always double check them with a meter. The hell? The hell? Why bad things happen to good people? Come on. Ooh. Sheer luck! Thanks to my flimsy wire connections to the transformer that fell off quickly, I only sustained some 3rd-degree burns. My stupid long sparklers made my structure top heavy, which of all people fell right on top of me. I leave a bunch of safety tips on my website, but such experiments are not worth dying for, so don't do it. And each pair is attached to one of these cables, which we can plug them into the wall power plug. Please join me for the first time to hear how it sounds. And 1, 2, 3, 4. It definitely made me sound like a rock star, although it feels more like an electric chair than a guitar. I can feel the electricity with my finger, so I'll put it in the water. Nothing. Let's get close to the wires. Nothing. Still nothing. Oh, I'm starting to feel it here. What is this? Oh, there's a cut on this finger and the electricity can go through it much easier. You know, the flesh under the skin is much more conductive. I made this simple circuit and I'll plug it in. Now the circuit is hot and the voltage is on the Something you must never forget is that some capacitors, like electrolytic ones, are polarized and you must never connect them backwards or they will blow up. Now I have replaced the capacitor on my circuit and I'll plug it in. In addition to polarity, the capacitors must be rated properly to be able to handle the voltage across them or they will blow up.
Here's my handicraft.
Let's measure and see where we are. I made my own taser back in my old video. The arcs can jump. You don't bring your finger close to a stun gun when it's running. Everyone can build something like this or even stronger, but it might not be legal everywhere. Hi, I completed my 1 Tesla kit assembly and I'm excited to try it together. Let's dim the lights. You should always keep a proper distance from Tesla coil. Let's play Pink Panther. I've opened the camera, but the first thing to remember is that there are a lot of bits and pieces and small and large screws that go in the camera. So always remember what goes where and store them nicely to avoid losing them. Now let's take a look at the camera here. There are a number of electronic circuits in the camera and there are connectors everywhere, like this one, a connector here, 2 connectors there, 1 connector here. This is actually a connector, and if you can see, there is a connector under the connector here. And if I flip the camera, and you can see the lens here, and if I remove the lens, you'll see the giant flash capacitor back here. Ow! Apparently the flash capacitor is holding around 300 volts of charge in it, and it can hurt a lot if you touch it, so I recommend. Okay, finally, let's power it up. The LED lights can be very intense and directional, so don't look into them directly as it may hurt your eyes. On this circuit, that's responsible for the timing. And you can see a tiny negative sign beside it. That means that that side needs to be connected to ground or negative box. The tip of the gun here simulates a human finger. Always be careful with your tools. Now, they usually zap a completely assembled unit, but sometimes it's also beneficial to zap a bare board like this one and see what happens on the actual board. Never hold the board you're zapping with your hand because the ESD will jump to your body through the board. First, you plug it to the inverter. Anytime you connect a power harness, connect it to your load side first so you wouldn't short your power supply or shock yourself. To measure the 120 volt AC, I put the meter on AC and I measure the voltage.
Oh my God!
Sometimes when you're probing a line, you might touch the probes, but never forget about the voltage on the probes. Here that I can feel, so it's impossible for this to excite the Now this string is one that I couldn't fix with the lighter sparker and doesn't turn on either. Let's try the taser now. You should know better not to get too close to high voltage. Now actually follow the standards. So if she was in fact electrocuted, then why? Oh, maybe she dropped the wall adapter in the water, completely submerged it, and then plugged it in. Ow! So I guess now, for example, if I connect my 12 volt supply here to the primary and charge it and then disconnect it, the voltage of the primary should jump up, creating a huge voltage on the secondary here that should create a spark. Let's try it out. There is nothing. Is there actually a voltage? Wow, this is wild. You can see how... It's a strange pain. It's as if somebody is stabbing your finger, but the blade, it doesn't stop there. It keeps going through your veins until it reaches your heart. I love it. I made it look more like a taser by gluing these nails to it. Let's look at it spark now. This gap is quite wide. Let me measure it for you. Well, you know, metal is generally conductive and electrons always find the easiest path to travel. The probe on one side and only touch one of the AC lines. Well, that was a pretty bad idea. I couldn't keep steady enough to read this stupid meter. And I could have died. See the... Now to check my body tolerance, I set the output to minimum. At 0 volts, it's pretty... Oh, I set it to max. Be lethal in your mouth, but I can do that too. Okay, let me show you how well it works. First, without the anti-pay. If I can just pass these cables under the table here. Always finish your wiring before connecting to your power supply. Now instead I'm going to use my power limited supply up here that will drive this pump that's made of this DC brushed motor here, and it's going to run fluid into the cylinder back here that will move it around. Now I enable the power supply